Hi there. I just wanted to come on here and share a little bit about what's been going on and see if maybe any of it resonates with you and you could learn from some of what is going on in my mind and my experience right now. Um, I was in an online panel recently and a woman was asking about, she was having this experience of people really liking her and then being quite the opposite and not liking her and having issues. So like two extremes of an experience for her from different people, and she was just like, I just don't know what's going on. Why is this happening? What's wrong? What's happening? And she'd also shared that a couple of her signs, her planets are in Gemini, which is a sign of duality. It's a twin sign, and the fact that she brought that into the conversation was very interesting and very telling. Oftentimes we know exactly what is going on with us, but we need that reflection from others. We need to put it out there, get it outside of our own minds and get it out there. So it was clear to me that, or what I was seeing, I guess, was that um, she was projecting different experiences of herself, her Gemini energy, which I've had plenty of experience with Gemini energy, and sometimes they appear and come across as one way, and then they are exactly the opposite, where I've felt like, where I've just been like held and loved and cared for by Gemini energy. And then later it's just the exact opposite. Like they don't even know me and it's just not the same person I'm interacting with. It's the most interesting, dynamic and experience. And maybe you've had this experience with Gemini energy yourself, and each one felt extremely real to me. Each of these energies I experienced was extremely real and valid and true for them at the time and for me at the time. So having that understanding of astrological signs and energies, and her bringing that into the conversation and bringing that up, it was just very interesting. So I reflected back to her, maybe you are expressing some very different energies to people, and it's confusing them, and they're kind of reflecting back to you what is happening, what you're sharing of your energy with them. They're reflecting that back to you. And she was just like found that really interesting and fascinating and very helpful. So she started working with that, and it made a lot of sense to her, and it gave her something to work with and reflect on. And I said maybe you can try to find a way to integrate these energies if you're on two ends of this spectrum and you're expressing two completely different experiences for people. How do you integrate? How do you bring those two ends of the extremes to a more balanced, harmonious union within yourself that you can then share with other people? Or just recognizing the duality that you're expressing, and then that was helpful for her. So I've been working with my own we're always working with something, right? So I am working with my own issues and projections and putting stuff out there and wondering, like, needing clarity, needing clarity on, is this stuff in my mind, is it a projection or is it real? Meaning, like, sometimes I wonder, am I being strong in my power or am I just being an asshole? And there can be a fine line there sometimes in my relationship. It's just like, am I doing codependency things or am I just being really strong and in my power? So working with that, and working with my guides and asking for clarity and support and help, because that's what we need. And this is why we connect with guides, we connect with other people, and we try to share and reflect and ask for feedback. So, because we need to bring it down out of our heads. We're so locked into our own experience of the world and our own emotional patterns and behaviors. It's really hard for us, when we get really hyper focused, it's very challenging for us to see outside of that and appreciate that maybe we are seeing things very wrong, or maybe, there's a lot more to the picture than our focus. So So I've been asking for support with that, like helping me to see a bigger view, helping me to take other things into consideration, seeing outside of myself so much. So last night, as when I ask my guides for help, it comes in all different sorts of ways. And last night it was, here, watch this video of Dr. Joe Dispenza, in an interview that he was doing. I don't know if you're familiar with Gaia TV, but it's a lot of conscious programming, and with really amazing speakers and people on their wonderful shows and documentaries, and all around, health and wellness, metaphysical health and wellness, raising your consciousness, spiritual growth and ascension, and just amazing programming. I can't recommend it any more highly. So scrolling through, like, what am I going to watch this evening? And came across that. I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch that. So, and he was telling me exactly what I needed to hear, really helping me to recognize my mind and how hyper focused it can be on this thing and just start spinning out. And then when we do that, we can't see outside of it, which was exactly what I felt like I might be doing and I needed help with. And his advice was to focus out here, put our attention outside in our energy field, move it out of the mind and out here into the energy field. And it's amazing how quickly that got me out of my head. And just like he said, it really brings a lot more cohesiveness to the mind. Things start working together. Parts of the brain start being more cohesive, working together, harmonizing, versus this hyper focused where we can't see beyond ourselves, beyond our emotional habits and patterns and our mental, addictions to certain emotions and energies and patterns. So that's been really helpful and just helped me to kind of get out of there. And then this morning during my meditation, I was, talking to Mother Earth. I've been really working on connecting with her in a much more deep level and asking her for guidance. And she just started showing me like the reflection and the relationships in my life, the things that I've been challenged with are an exact reflection for me of what I need to see and what's going on. And I've been, challenged by my husband, like maybe being too focused on negativity. And then I realized like, wow, because I'm focused on negativity, it's easy to spin out in things that aren't going right or, going right, whatever that means. What we perceive as not being there, things of lack, it's so easy for us to focus on those things and forget all the beauty and bounty flowing through our lives. So it was a really powerful, it's just like, look at this and realize, see the mirror, see the reflection of yourself. And that was the teaching for me this morning. And it's been an ongoing teaching. It's something I've been working with over the past few days that, but I just kind of wanted to get on here and share about that because it is so important. If there's something that's really bugging us and we're feeling challenged by somebody, a relationship or a friend or a coworker or something that, and I'm sure you've probably heard this teaching before. It's a good one. It's a common one. It's something that's irritating us so much is often a reflection of our own stuff. If it's getting to us and triggering us, then there's something for us there to look at. And that's exactly what's been going on for me. And I knew that, but I'm like, what am I missing here? Because sometimes even though we know, it's still hard to pinpoint what it is. So yeah, it just, a lot of things have been converging and coming together. And it really, really is about, what is being mirrored back to you? What is being reflected to you in other people or circumstances or situations you find yourself in that you find challenging? What is the lesson in it for you? And a lot of times that's not so obvious, even if we know, like, okay, there's a teaching here. What's the teaching? We really need to sit with ourselves and quiet our minds down, try to get out of our heads, really focus on our energy around us, move out of the mind, move our attention out of the mind and open it up so other answers, other teachings, other wisdoms can come through so we can understand more what's going on without that hyper focus in our mind and our old patterns and our frustrations and, whatever the flavor of it is, try to open it up. get that attention and awareness outside of the mind, and then that allows for the energy to shift and the messages to come through, which is precisely what happened to me today when I was like, okay, I'm gonna put my focus out here and ask for help and ask for guidance. Like, please help me to see, please help me have clarity. What am I missing here? What's going on? And it just came in, and it was so easy and clear, and it was just like, oh, okay. It helped me to see like where I'm getting hyper focused on negativity, or focusing too much on the glass being half empty versus half full, or full, just full. I mean, there's always going to be things that we're working with here in this lifetime. That's what it is. That's what the human experience is. We're going to be working with energies, positive, negative. We're going to be challenged. We're going to be working with moving through something. Regardless of how much we move through, there tends to be more. We open up more as we move along, and we open up new lessons, new challenges, new teachings for ourselves. And that's the growth. That's the journey. That's what we're doing here. So yeah, I just thought those were a couple really important things and powerful tools for me that have come through, and lessons that I continue to learn. I know the reflection thing, but again, when I'm so locked in my own thing, it's hard to see that, so this was really helpful. Another thing I want to add there that's really helpful is surrounding ourselves with healthy teachings, healthy programming, healthy messages that are supporting our growth, not supporting our fixations and supporting our limitations and supporting negativity. This Gaia TV, there's so much on there that's, we like to watch things, so why not let that work to our advantage? Watch documentaries that are about healthy things, healthy living, healthy, and spiritual growth, and inspiration, inspiring programming that's going to elevate you. At the evening, I've worked all day, I've put in a lot of time doing stuff, I just want to kind of chill out and like maybe watch something. So what better way than to just continue the consciousness elevation by watching something that's really gonna help me to grow spiritually. And that's a great thing to do right before bed too. I mean, screen time itself is not good right before bed, but to go to bed with a head full of like spiritual stuff and wisdom and teachings, and then it can percolate all night long, and you get amazing dreams and wisdoms coming through in that way too. So it's just like reading something spiritual and uplifting and inspirational before bed. It's the same thing, I mean, ideally we're all quiet and calm a half hour before bed, but I think realistically, we like to watch or read something. So I love to read spiritual books, so I read a couple pages before bed, and then that sets the stage for the evening, and it's really lovely. And so anyway, I hope that speaks to you in some way. The reflection, the mirrors, the getting out of our minds, the quit being so myopic, recognizing when we're triggered, something is there for us to look at, because think about it, the things that aren't triggering you, there's nothing there, there's no charge, there's no spark. I can interact with certain people, no freaking problem, nothing's going on, we're having a great time. Other people, they're sparking something, energies aren't aligning, something's going on there, but it's something for me to look at, obviously, because if there wasn't anything there, it wouldn't be happening, the triggers wouldn't be going off, so that's where the work is. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. And also, gosh, I can just go. I want to highlight one last thing, because I flashed back to the woman who was aware of her Gemini energies in her chart and in her astrology chart, and how she was able to work with that, because she knew what the energies were. It gave her a lot to work with there, and a lot of understanding of how she works and how she comes across to people, and the duality within herself, and how to work with that. That understanding gives us so much to work with. And once we know our energies, our individual, specific, unique energies and how they work for us, there's so much more we can do there. G.I. Joe says knowing is half the battle, right? Yeah, once we know, then we can work. It's so much better than just like flying by the seat of our pants, just like, wow, I have no idea why I'm reacting like this. I don't know why I'm triggered like this. I don't know why my mind is thinking like this. I don't know why I'm so emotional about these things. When you know your astrology and your energies, all of that becomes clear. It doesn't make it go away, but once you know, then you can be more conscious and work with it. It's like, okay, that's what that is. Now I understand maybe why I'm really emotional about whatever. Maybe now I understand, like, oh, I have some really fiery energy. Now I know how to work with that without it like letting me like anger take over. Once you understand it, there's so many tools and ways to work with that energy. So yeah, highly recommend astrology, learning your chart, getting some introductory if you don't know, going beyond your sun sign. A lot of people know what that is, but there's so much more. There are many planets we're working with, many energies, a lot going on. So, in this day and age, there's so much information out there. There's some great stuff. I'm going to post underneath this, I'm going to post a couple links. I'll post a link to Gaia TV. I just can't recommend that more highly. To Dr. Joe. He does some amazing work with helping us to reprogram our minds and the unconscious thought patterns and emotional patterns that just run amok and really run the show until we start taking control of them, and it drastically changes our reality. And I just I can't say enough good things about him, and it will just really, it's a total game changer, really helping you understand the unconscious running the patterns. And then I will post a link to Molly McCord, who is, I know I've got her, I'm following her on my YouTube channel. If you look in my favorites, she's there, but I'll post a link to her. She is just wonderful, intuitive, spiritually aligned astrology, and she puts out weekly podcasts that help us to understand what's going on in the sky, what are the energies that are prevalent. And once you know that, you can work with them in such a better way. Once you know, like, this is really prevalent right now, this is why everybody is just kind of like feeling really super emotional, this is why I'm so challenged by this is why I'm feeling so heavy and lethargic and I can't get anything done, this is why I'm so active, like ready to go, and whoa, this is why my mind is like, can't stop thinking, all the thoughts are like, whoa. Once you know that, you can just ride through it. You don't have to spin out and wonder like, whoa, what's going on here? Oh my gosh, how am I going to deal with this? Why am I feeling so crazy? Why am I feeling so emotional? Once you understand, then you can just kind of bring it down and learn how to ride the waves and surf it. It's just a much smoother, more integrated, powerful experience. And you can learn how to use those energies that are prevalent to support you in your spiritual growth, in your day-to-day life, your family, your relationships, all the things. If you know that there's a big time for activity coming up that's really supported, like this is a good time to start some projects. If you know the energy coming up is just going to be slow and tired, and those are some times to plan some down days. Don't plan too much activity. Real basic things like that are just again a real game changer to how you work with your life, how you work with your energy, how you work with the energy of the cosmos, of our lived experience. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? We're all energy. We're surrounded by energy. Everything is energy. When we learn how to work with that energy, which is what I'm all about, what my sessions and programs and everything is all about, how to work with our energy body, clearing unhealthy emotions and patterns and such. But when we learn how to work with these external factors and our internal factors with the astrology, it's just a whole new ballpark out there, and it just brings so much more ease and flow into our lives. I just can't say enough good things about it. So yeah, I'll post all those links below for you and check those out. And yeah, as I just said, I offer many programs and healing sessions and community monthly events and offerings to support you in your process. And a lot of it is learning how to work with the energy of the body, mind, and spirit of our energetic body, the energy outside of us, the external energies, the energies of other people. How do we interact with them, and how can we do so in a healthier, more nourishing way? How can we release unhealthy energies that we've inherited, ancestral trauma and grief from our parents, from excuse me, the screen just went black there. It was weird, but we're back. Energies, the astrology energies that come in. I mean, there's so many different ways that the energy works for us, and our emotional energy, our mental energy, our physical energy. So I offer a lot of things to work with that. Check out my website and stay tuned on here for more things that are coming up. So thank you for joining me. Like and subscribe, and thanks for being here as I get my little YouTube channel started and off the ground. It's been a fun little adventure, so it's great to be here. So thanks, everybody. I look forward to connecting with you.